What's up? Yo, what's up? I'm sure y'all have realized if you followed any type of religion for any amount of time that, the devil is the ruler of this world. I mean, how many times is it said in the Bible? If you don't believe the Bible, that's fine. I question a lot of things myself. Love Jesus with all my heart. But I probably have a different understanding than what the Bible is portraying. I believe that Christ lives inside of you. I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to any of the outside things. None of it makes any sense. Everything is within you. Okay. That being said, how many times does it say in the Bible that Satan is the king of this world? I mean, it's littered throughout it. It's more than a few. The point I'm trying to make is that you're here with an ego in a form of learning, in like a simulation, in a game of sorts, like where your vibration brings you more of what you pay attention to. And I think right now it's really important to realize that an awful lot of people are paying attention to the wrong things. Like, you're going to get more of what you focus on. And just as there is no beginning point to time, there's no end point to time, there's no beginning of anything. It's all been here for eternity. Now you think, how can something not have a beginning and not have an end? I mean, that is infinity. That's what it is. It's timeless. If we're here to grow through the ego, it requires us detaching from everything that's out here. A lot of people are really focused, hopelessly focused, on things that don't mean anything at all. Like, I get up, I check my Instagram, I shouldn't care. I shouldn't, but my ego says, oh, you need to put on some nice clothes and make a video, and you need to do this and do that and make these people think this and that and change everything. But in reality, we're losing sight of what's important. The rabbit hole, just like time doesn't have a beginning or an end, the rabbit hole doesn't have a beginning or an end. It's infinite. Where your focus goes is where your energy flows. What you're paying attention to, you're going to get. How did we end up in this crazy world with these, transgenders parading through churches and cathedrals and accepting tips from little kids? And it's beyond insane, right? We got the Balenciaga scandal. It's Balenciaga, which is Satan is king in Latin, which is just weird. But do I care? No, I don't care. Why do you care? People ask me what I think about these trivial matters. What do you care? The devil is the king here. But my heart is the king out there. Where this doesn't matter, where this comes to an end, in the sense of finite time, my soul carries on past this. You're going to die one day. You signed up to die. The second that you popped out your mom's coochie, you started dying. It's the only inevitability that you face in this reality is death. Why does everybody fear that? Ego. It's all ego. Why do we fear losing loved ones? Ego. It's all ego. If you really understood it, you would be grateful for every freaking second that you had. But instead of being capable of doing that, our capacity is rendered useless by the propaganda and the misinformation, the disinformation, and information. Information is the past. Wisdom is the future. Why are we looking behind all the time? That's been done. Who cares? Who cares? It's an evil place, full of beauty and wonder. But if you don't get off the high horse and take a walk around, you're never going to see any of the beauty. Because that rabbit hole is infinite. You want to look deeper, it's going to keep going. This is how existence works. It's a simulation. It is meant to keep you looking out here instead of in here and in here. What's between the temples? What's between here? The pineal gland, God's kingdom, the heaven within you. It's there. The pine cone that opens. The Christos fluid, the 33 rungs of Jacob's ladder. You could describe it any way you want, okay? At the end of the day, you are as much a part of God as your fingernail is a part of you. this cannot exist without this, cannot exist without this, cannot exist without this, which cannot exist without this, and none of it can exist without this in combination with this. Your mind is way more powerful than you have ever imagined, even the people out there that are awake. And it really takes like some introspective, perusing to understand the power of your mind. If you go into meditation, there's this white light there. Have you ever seen this? Many people have. Many people have never even tried. A lot of people say, I'm not good at meditating. I'm not good at meditating. Have we met? Like, I'm the most chaotic person on the planet. But at the end of the day, God lives inside me, and there's a way to tap into that. My pages aren't about selling you something. They're not about making money. They're not about corrupting people. They're not even about anything. It's just about me and my path. And sometimes I feel inspired by people to make changes in my life. And it's because these people present things in a way that is like non-threatening, non-argumentative, non-combative. If people combat me, I will destroy you. Because ego. It's all ego. People that are trying to change the world are doing it by swinging a sword, and you could do it better by living an example that's worth others adhering to, and by using your pen, writing it. Write it down, speak your reality into existence, and stop thinking that you're powerless. You're gonna die. Once you accept that, I think part of the reason why I'm so, whatever people want to call me, y'all say spiritual or awake or conscious, or I'm just Adam. I'm not any of that stuff. I don't care about any of that stuff at all. And I don't care what you think about me at all. I care that I have the ability to be something that is worth others blossoming into. Because at your core, there's this frequency of unconditional love that all of us are. Service to the collective should be everybody's highest priority. And the beauty and the uniquity of all this, the ability for all of this to be unique, independent to the first person subjective stance of the beholder, is it's all different. You're a different flower than I am when I blossom. But no less important. The oak tree doesn't spend its life thinking it's a maple. It doesn't care. It doesn't spend its life worrying about, when the squirrel's going to eat its acorns, or if it's going to get planted, or it doesn't care. It puts its roots deep into the earth. That's its priority. Because when the storms come, it needs those roots anchored into the roots of its neighbor, a maple, a birch, a pine, whatever it is. It needs those roots anchored in, networked, right? The branches, what does the tree do? It strives for the light. It reaches out. If something cuts off one path, you don't see the tree complain. We complain too much. I complain too much. My page somehow over the years has become me bitching about government. That's not who I am. I don't care. I don't care. Kill me, torture me, rape me. I don't give a fuck. I'll probably have a good time. Spit in my mouth. I'll call you daddy. I don't give a fuck. None of it matters to me. You know what matters to me? Service to the collective. And until my last breath, my dying gasp, where I regret the craziest shit that I've done in my life, I'm going to live my truth. And I'm going to do it with no regrets. At the end of my days, maybe I get there and I go, oh man, I wish I was a little lighter on my family. Or, oh man, I wish I didn't do that crazy whatever in college and let my parents have. Most of it's family guilt, family regret. You have to go through that to get here. Everybody has this. Everybody has some trauma that they have, resentments, regret, guilt, whatever it is. You're forgiven for all that. I'm forgiven. I forgive me. If you don't forgive me, I don't care. It's not about that. It's not about God. It's not about even Jesus Christ. It's about you. How do you feel about you? How does the king within you feel about you? Are you getting your information from out here? Are you looking all day online trying to find some answers for some nonsense? Yes, there is evil on this planet. It's here in the form of mankind, archons, parasites, mind control, smart meter technology. There are evil manifestations all around us. And as far as you dig, the rabbit hole will continue to grow in whatever direction you want to take it. Do you want to know God? Do you want to know yourself? Do you want to open up that channel inside of you to find that? And have a conscious connection with that? Because you should. Because you're here for that. You signed up for that. People think I'm so awake and so this and so that, or so offensive, or all of it comes from a place of ego. Either you think you're not enough to be like me, or you think you're too cool to be like me. The trees don't care who their neighbor is. In some situations, there's symbiosis that occurs. The underlying thread that connects all of them is the mycelial network, which on a microcosm is the neural networks in our brain. On a macrocosm is the consciousness that permeates all reality. The all-seeing eye that everybody's so scared of. I mean, that's literally God experiencing everything through you. It's not satanic. It has nothing to do with Satan. It has to do with God living his reality through you. And the more you carbon copy yourself to be something you're not, something you saw on TV, or this guy because he drives a Lamborghini, or whatever it is. I'm not saying don't even drive a Lamborghini. I'm just saying, think. Why do you want to drive that? I like driving nice cars because they're fast. If I get an emergency, I can get where I'm going, and they're fun. People think I'm cool regardless. I could be pedaling a bike around. I'm a pimp. I don't need a car for that. Makes it nicer. I mean, you ever see somebody riding a bike and it's not for exercise, and you're like, over 30, you're not having a good day. It's been a rough one for this guy. I don't want to be that, but it's ego. I think in this life, we probably need to focus a little bit more on letting go of things. Letting go of people, letting go of opinions, letting go of things that no longer serve us, and living our truth. That is the most important thing you can do because of that all-seeing eye, which is a part of you and a part of everything. All of existence has some form of sensory perception, and that's how God experiences his creation. Now it's like God made the chessboard, okay? And God made the pieces, but the devil is the one playing. And he's playing against Christ on that chessboard. So there's a component of polarity here. You can't escape it. You can transcend it, but you cannot escape it. You have to work through it. So all these love and lighters that haven't done their healing work. And I say all this because I've been putting off my healing work. This whole post is just me recognizing to myself, because there are no others, I've been prolonging the unnecessary and delaying something that needs to happen. And that is me actually working on me. I shouldn't care about Instagram. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't care about social media. It doesn't matter. What matters to me is service to the collective. And how on earth am I supposed to, efficiently serve the collective that I care about, because it's me and I'm selfish as fuck? How do I serve them if I'm not functioning at my optimal? I can't. I'm neglecting things that I need to do in order to do the job that I signed up to do on this planet. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I had a conversation with somebody yesterday and it made me think about my life in a way that I hadn't thought about it. It just, when things click and they come from a person that clicks, and all of a sudden you have these little clicks going off, and it's like binary code is activating your brain, and you start to think and the wheels turn. You're like, wow, you know what? I'm not living up to my potential, and that's not what I'm here for. And you know what? Screw everybody else. I need to do things for me, and I can't do that when I'm focused on the stupid rabbit hole. You take a scoop out. If you take the scoop out, it gets deeper. But how many of these people that are out there screaming about chemtrails understand that Christ lives inside them? How many understand that Buddha lives inside them? How many understands that they are Buddha? They are Jesus Christ. They are Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They are these beings. They are Bob Marley. They are Kurt Cobain. They are the greats of this world. How many people get that? Before you want to tell me that they're spraying shit in the sky, honestly, have you found God within inside yourself? And if you haven't, You're regurgitating information, which is the past, which I was here for, and not, pondering the future, which is wisdom. Application of applied knowledge or application of learned knowledge is wisdom. And the application process takes place in the now, where we are. Always. You're never leaving the now. Not in this reality. It doesn't happen. Everything is now. This time construct we have is wrong. Absolutely wrong. There is no time, this linear thing that we've created. It's an abomination. Gives perspective, but it doesn't actually unveil the full potential of the reality that we're in. If you were to consider for a moment that you were in a now, an infinite now, where the moment of the now, the fractal now, is what you have to work with, and you move through that based on vibration and frequency like love and fear, how many people would live their life differently if they knew they had infinite possibilities and that every eventual possibility was achievable by working in the now? This is the sacred moment. People have forsaken the sacred nature of the reality. Be it the devil's reality, I don't care, because I'm not. It's his chessboard. But Christ is playing with me and with you. And not like the Catholic Church is playing with boys, which is weird. But it's his world. And it's his reality. So you got to make sense of that and rectify it within yourself and figure out how you want to move forward. What could you do if you had the power of the now behind you? What would you do if you had anything was a possibility? If nobody told you couldn't do it, what would you be? If you had all the money in the world, all your family was healthy, everything was in one place and you didn't have to worry about it, what would you become? Hopefully you would become what you are, which would mean that you were being and not becoming. The becoming is this construct. It's a failure. It's ignorance of your true nature because you already are. You don't need to be something that you're not in order to become something greater than you are. That's absurd. You can just be. You don't need permission for that. You think something is cool, you see something that's cool, you like something in this reality, bring that into your reality. Life is just a compilation of the people we love and the things we love and things we see that we say, wow, I enjoy that. Thanks for that perspective. And then in that now, you can make decisions that will bring you closer to the reality that you want. The point is to stop giving attention to the shit you don't want. It's so beyond foolish. People think they're awake, they're woke. There's a big difference. But people think they're awake because they know that chemtrails exist. They know that pedophilia exists. And they know the governments are, sucking baby blood out of little cracked baby necks. And you know what? At the end of the day, when I die, all of this stops. Now, you don't understand that. I get that. But this timeline ends. You don't have to fear. Let go of fear. Abandon it. It's a liar. It's not true. Either you're going to face it and you're going to become victorious, or you're going to run from it and you're going to become a coward. And you're going to run back to your phone and dig deeper in your hole, and you're going to show these people how bad it is. Balenciaga, oh my God, Satan is king. It says it in the Bible 400 times. What are you talking about? This isn't new information. You all need to sit down and go with God. You're not telling me anything new. You all have the power to tap into the Akashic Records. You all have the power to tap into your own heart, your own mind, your own spirit, your own soul, your own God, your own creator, your own reality. And as such, it's actual blasphemy to simply focus on what you don't want all the time and wonder why the world is such a hot mess. You deserve better. I deserve better. And that's not what we should be doing with our time or lives or any of that. We shouldn't put an ounce of energy into shit that we do not want. If you don't want it to become a reality, you shouldn't talk about it. You know what we should talk about? God. We should talk about the opposite sex. We should talk about our relations with each other. We should talk about plants that heal us. We should talk about healing each other. We shouldn't talk about all the problems all the time. Do you really think that's healthy? Knock it off. It's not good. It's not good. We're going in the wrong direction with that. You want to talk about revolution? Talk about people unifying. That is the purpose of revolution, is to unify the masses. It's not to point out all the shit that's bad. And for a long time, that's all I did. And I recognized that that was an error in my ways. I apologize sincerely for it. And I'm committing to work on myself so that I can be the best person I can be to help uplift humanity out of absolute chaos. Which I don't mind. I don't mind the chaos. Have y'all looked around? This place is a total zoo. How fun. What an amazing place to be. What a cool opportunity to shine. These people have the wool pulled so far over their eyes that anything you do that's actually driven by the Holy Spirit, I mean, you're way above them already. They're in there now, which is not tied to your now until the 2 points cross, like ley lines on the grid. The collective consciousness grid, the tetrahedron grid, the star tetrahedron grid of Earth, the crystalline grid, whatever you want to call it. All the sacred sites, that's the interlapping of sacred energies. That's when people come together. That's what's important. People coming together. The ley lines. That's where you build. That's where you anchor your roots, little tree. That's where you drop your seeds in the wildfires. That's where you put them down, you tie into your neighbors, and you strive for the light. And you do it together. Look, man, you want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you go together. These are the rules. The thing about wearing the sacred glasses is you can never take them off. Once you put them on, everything changes. You'll see things as they are and not as you're told they are. And the other rule with that is you can never make somebody else wear them. Accept that. Love it. They're living their truth. It might be a lie, in the eyes of people, but who are we to judge? They're at a different, this is Earth, man. Everything here is tied together, but everything is completely separate. Separate in the sense that, God cannot learn from a unified perspective. For God to grow and expand and to experience life through each and every one of us, he has to have, degrees of separation. This is the secret of the ages, by the way, that all of the, the Masons and the Rosicrucians and everybody has their heads so far up their ass with all that. These people don't know anything they don't have some massive secret. God lives inside of you. That's the secret. The devil rules this world. That's the secret. What they don't teach you is that love is a unifying factor that can stand against any form of oppression, any form of fear, anything. I will David and Goliath their ass any day of the week using my heart and showing people a better way than what they were currently walking. The path over here and the pasture is much greener than what you were on. So come to love, man. To unconditional freaking love. It's not that hard. To love yourself. Look, you did crazy shit. You're forgiven. Christ forgives you. God forgives you. I forgive you. Go, my child. 3 Hail Marys and a fucking... You know what I'm saying? Get on with your life. Living with regret will never serve you. Ever. There's no benefit from it. It comes from ego. From I. I this. I that. I that. The word does not exist in indigenous culture. You want to know why they're wiping the brown and yellowish and reddish people off of the planet, the black people? You want to know why Africa's got so many problems? If you give a starving African kid an apple, do you think he's going to eat the whole thing, or is he going to bring that entire apple in one piece? I'm talking starving, back to his tribe, and feed him first. I'm strong because you're strong because I'm strong. There's a philosophy of thought. Can't remember the name of the tribe. I'm so sorry. Ubuntu, right? I am because you are. Christ said this. And not, man, I use the I in an indigenous context, and it's just not factually correct. But you understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to make a point here about the ego and the we being more powerful than the one. Unless it's the one, the totalitarian energy of everything that's permeated it's existence permeating all life. It's the universe coming through. When you pray to God, what's going to come down and help you? The energy of the Holy Spirit is going to come, and it's going to flow through whatever life form is required to save your ass in that moment. I've died like 3 times in this reality. Probably why people think I'm so spiritual, because I stopped caring and stopped counting. Why would I care? You know what I care about is that I disrespected God by putting myself in those situations so many times. When I should have just been love. I should have loved me. Now, I'm not saying don't do things that might kill you. Live. Like, you're going to die one day, man. If I died tomorrow, like, I had a great life. In the last 10 years, I've helped so many people, and it feels so good because I realize that with every single person I heal, I'm healing a part of me. And honestly, nobody can heal anybody. You can't heal somebody. You can only unlock the power within the person for them to heal themselves. And you do that by love. It's important people really understand what's going on here. It's a fractal, holographic, self-replicating reality where it appears to be solid and manifest, but it's 99% empty space, molecules moving at the exact same time. What do they call that? Quantum entanglement, string theory, whatever you want to call it. Everything moves. When I expand, you expand. When you expand, I expand. Because we actually are the universe. I think I'm going to turn this into a podcast. It was a pretty good one. So with that, I will say, hi me, which there's no word for in indigenous cultures. Hi me. Hi other me. Hi reflection. I love you. I hope one day you can love you and you can let go of whatever's happened and whatever's holding you back. And I realize I'm saying this to me as I'm saying it because I have things that I need to do in order to get my life where I want it to be. But it's important that we don't shirk off the work that we should be doing in order to better ourselves, because that's the mission, is to better yourself, not to find the bottom of the rabbit hole. You keep digging, you're going to end up in China or Israel or both. Working together. APAC and the CCP, juntos. Anyways, neither here nor there. But when you say God's chosen people, that's a strong statement right there. Which God? The God of this world? Or God, like source? We are not the same. People could call me anti-Semitic. I was doing this way before Kanye ever made it cool. I don't think people understand the scope of this, and it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, you have the force of Christ inside of you. Or whatever religion you adhere to. Or maybe you're not religious. Maybe you're spiritual. I'm not religious at all. I'm an ordained minister. Okay, I'm baptized Catholic. But I don't believe the stories that are in man's written books. But I do use them as a compass to see what other people believed. It's called syncretism. It's a philosophy of thought that shows unity in all varying schools of thought. And this is how you find out what people believe, so you can figure out what the guidelines are for like how maybe you should take a look at the world. That's the starting point. And then from there, you move outward. So I don't necessarily believe any of that. But what I do believe is Christ consciousness, because I've experienced it. And there's been times in my life where I was completely gone, possessed out of my mind. You know, looking in the mirror, every vein was going inwards. You know, I hadn't drank anything in 3 days. My feet had crystallized blood in them. It felt like I was walking on glass. And here I am trying to shoot more cocaine into a vein that doesn't exist. Couldn't even hit my arteries. I'm like, couldn't get it in. You want to know what hell's like? Hell is when your veins are out of liquid and you can't shoot drugs in the middle of a bender. That's hell. For anybody that thinks they've seen hell and hasn't, you know, a lot of people out there that, you know, oh man, I only make $11 an hour. I'm like, dude, have you ever gone on a bender and not been able to shoot drugs? when you're in the middle of the bender, your $11 an hour saga you haven't lived, my friend. You have to live. Perspective is key. You must embrace the reality that we're in. Where the devil is king of the world, Christ is king of the consciousness, which permeates the entire world. When you pray for help, God will send you something in the flesh, whether it's an animal, a dolphin. You're lost at sea, what's God going to send? He's going to send an angel to get you out, prevent you from drowning? No. He's going to send you a dolphin to drag you back to shore. He's going to send you a boat. He's going to send you a fisherman. He's going to send you a being. Because the consciousness is where it's at. That's how God interacts with us. It's in everything. I can't stress this enough. Find it within yourself. From my side of the world to yours, fuck the system, but love your neighbor. And the first neighbor you gotta love, that's your soul, man. You're gonna be incapable of loving anything unless you love yourself. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Babylon, the first video episode I've done. Yeah. Love y'all. Man, that's so good. Thanks, God. Thanks, prophets. Thanks, angels. Thanks, animals. Thanks, earth. Thank you, family. Thank you, reality. Oh, oh, oh! Third eye out.